10 o'clock news.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger. As wildfires continue to explode around Montana, the situation is even more dire in California tonight. That's where the fast-moving Dixie Fire has destroyed at least 2 small towns and is showing no signs of letting up. We'll get to that story in just a moment, but first we've got some breaking news to tell you about at this hour. As a serious accident on 3rd and Broadwater Avenue has sent at least 6 people to the hospital tonight. The Billings Fire Department Battalion Chief Kevin Bentz said at least some of those injuries appear to be critical. We do know that accident involved at least 2 SUVs, and there were reports that 4 people were stuck inside one of the vehicles. Those patients did have to be extricated from the vehicle. MTN talked with one witness on the scene who said she saw one of the SUVs fly through the intersection, striking the other vehicle. Broadwater Avenue remains closed between 2nd and 4th. There's no other information at this time, but stay tuned to KTVQ.com for the very latest. Now back to that Dixie Fire, which is ravaging Northern California at this hour. The fire is the largest in the country and grew overnight by 110 square miles. Jonathan Vigliotti reports from Westwood, California.
In less than 24 hours, the Dixie Fire has wiped 2 Northern California towns off the map.
All our beautiful views and everything are gone.
Thursday night, it incinerated the town of Canyon Dam. 24 hours earlier, it reduced the Gold Rush era town of Greenville to ashes.
I'm a lifelong resident of Greenville. My heart is crushed by what has occurred there.
This woman decided not to evacuate in nearby Westwood.
I mean, you have to live with the fact that there's going to be wildfires. There's always going to be wildfires.
So far, crews have been able to save the town of Chester, but the threat remains as wind-driven flames continue their relentless rampage through national forest land and small communities.
We're seeing truly frightening fire behavior. We really are in uncharted territory.
The fire's cause is under investigation, but Pacific Gas and Electric says a tree fell on one of its utility poles and could have sparked the fire. To the south, the river fire near the Nevada border has destroyed or damaged more than 100 structures.
Well, it was a cross between Apocalypse Now and Wizard of Oz. There was propane tanks blowing up left and right.
Eric Gibbs saved his home by fighting the flames with 2,000 gallons of water he stored on his property.
I just kept running back up to my tank and filling this reservoir thing up and running around and putting out spot fires.
Fire crews are hoping to catch a break. Forecasters say the weather is turning cooler and humidity is rising. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Westwood, California.
Oh, the Dixie Fire is about 35% contained, but fire officials say it's likely to grow even larger. Here in Montana, there are currently 88 wildfires burning, with 15 of those starting in the last 24 hours alone. All right, turning to meteorologist Matthew Hidalgo is in for Ed tonight. Not a lot of help for those wildfires around here. We did get a little bit of precipitation today, though.
Yes, we did get a trace of precipitation today. Let's take a look at the Billings Almanac. Now, we already are ahead of the game. We're at 65/100ths of an inch of precipitation already in August. The high today was 87 degrees, and to put that into perspective, the average high around this time of year is 89 degrees. We reached a top gust today of 33 miles an hour. Now for the short-term headlines, we're going to talk about where those showers and thunderstorms are, and with those wildfires still burning out west, the haze and smoke is still an issue, and we will be seeing more of that smoke move into the area tomorrow. But we will be seeing a cooler day by Monday. We'll have the full forecast details in just a bit. Back to you, Russ.
All right, thank you, Matthew. Things are finally calming down on the Boulder 2700 fire near Flathead Lake. That fire destroyed at least 20 structures and has left around 2,000 acres burned. The fire left many needing help at the Red Cross Emergency Shelter in Polson, and hundreds came together to lend a hand. MTN's Dennis Bragg reports it's another example of what can happen when we help each other.
Within hours of the Boulder 2700 fire's devastating assault on the Finley Point community, donations were pouring into the emergency shelter at the Linderman Elementary Gym. An astonishing response in a very short time, from tons of towels to clothes and food.
We have a Facebook page for the fire, Boulder 2700 fire. We had to put out on it the other day, please no more donations.
And it wasn't just donations. Paraguay says volunteers came from all walks of life, including the CEOs of both local hospitals, and many others pitching in with equipment, supplies, and information.
They put in 8-hour shifts three days in a row, working with our ops team, our operations team. We had nurses from the tribe on call that were here on boots on ground. And we also had the tribe provided us with mental health service professionals, licensed professionals.
When Governor Gianforte visited Thursday, the team told him of the amazing response and how any leftover donations will be passed along to other organizations to continue helping after the shelter closes.
But this effort wasn't just about getting emergency supplies. It was about helping friends and neighbors and doing it with heart. When you saw those water bottles coming through and all that stuff the other day, and the people with the, boxes and bags and just that, I mean, what goes through your mind?
I think you can see it a little bit. It's just heartwarming, man. I just can't express how proud I am of my community,
But this crisis is a reminder that more help is needed for future emergencies.
We have 4 people on our disaster action team here. That's not enough. But yes, please call Red Cross Central, if you will, and get on the website, fill out the form, I want to volunteer, and we'll put you through the training and give you a shiny vest like this one.
In Polson, Dennis Bragg, MTN News.
Well, in western South Dakota, the 81st annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally kicked off today. The 10-day rally got started with an opening ceremony this morning. One of the largest motorcycle rallies in the world brings in bikers from all across the country, with at least 700,000 people expected to attend the event this year. The annual tradition, which sees many of those bikers rumble through our area, brings in about $800 million for the local economy there. We've been watching cases of COVID skyrocketed all week, and the virus is showing no signs of slowing down. Right now, the active case mark sits just under 2,000 in Montana, as another 272 new cases were reported today. That 2,000 marks an unwelcome milestone that the state hasn't seen since February 22nd of this year. Yellowstone County saw the second most new cases today with 42 and has 262 active cases. 137 Montanans are hospitalized, while 1,722 have now passed away from the virus. Well, according to the MSUB COVID-19 task force, the main campus and City College have been deemed the safest places in the county. To maintain that, the university put in recommendations effective today for employees and students. Q2's David J. has more on what students can expect when classes start.
When students go into the student union or into the classroom, the recommendation is to wear a mask. And the CDC task force here on campus is also encouraging vaccinations. This is all based on information from the CDC and Yellowstone County.
The 7-day average that just finished on the 4th of August on Wednesday, the number of new cases were up by 60%. The number of new hospital admissions were up by 70%. These significant increases now place us in the high risk category. Then the natural recommendation for us, which was announced this morning, was to have masks indoors.
Provost Sep Eskandari is also the incident commander for MSUB's COVID-19 task force and says the recommendations give students an option.
The data support this recommendation, but we recognize that this is a personal choice. We recognize that people have different opinions on this issue.
And vaccines also will not be required.
We're looking at about 40-some% of individuals who are fully vaccinated. We know in our student population in that age group that percentage is slightly smaller. We know there are different risks associated with being vaccinated and not vaccinated. Recognizing again that it's a personal choice, and we respect all of the personal choices that are made.
And Provost Eskandari says those recommendations could change between now and the start of school. In Billings, David J., MTN News.
Thanks, David. The decision on recommending masks and encouraging vaccines was made locally and may be different from other college campuses in Montana. The gift of sound, something many of us take for granted in our day-to-day lives, but for Cindy Lewis of Ronan, she's missed countless moments in her adult life due to being hard of hearing. In tonight's Positively Montana report, MTN's Sean Wells accompanied Cindy this week as she was gifted new hearing aids and a chance to catch life's precious moments once again.
It gives me energy. When I have hearing aids, I'm more I just have more energy. There's more things I want to go do.
Cindy Lewis of Ronan began losing her hearing roughly 10 years ago. As her hearing started to go, so did her confidence.
If you can't hear what you're doing, you're not going to do it well.
Cindy tried hearing aids for the first time in 2016 and was amazed by the results, but lost her hearing aids while moving into her new home.
It came out and we lost it, and we couldn't find it.
A licensed therapist, Cindy struggled the last 2 years without hearing aids.
It kills me because how can you meet people's needs if you can't figure out what their needs are because you can't hear them?
Through research, Cindy discovered the Miracle Ear Foundation, which has delivered more than 30,000 free hearing aids to adults and children nationwide since their inception in 1990.
It's excellent.
Miracle Ear Foundation hearing instrument specialist Evelina Roshevsky says the hearing aids are highly specialized with Bluetooth features, including lifetime care.
There are hearing aids that should last a long time. There are hearing aids that could be adjusted and maintained for a long, long time for them. So that's wonderful too.
Evelina says giving someone the gift of sound is both life-changing for the patient and herself.
Anytime someone comes in to get help, it's not just their hearing that's affected. It's their relationships, it's their lifestyle, it's their confidence that's affected, and being able to help people with all of those things is definitely a wonderful feeling.
A music lover, Cindy can't wait to play her piano once again, listening closely to the notes as her fingers dance around the keys.
Most of us take sound for granted. We don't realize what we have until we lose it. And it was incredible, and it's like a dream. It's like, pinch me, is this really happening? How did I get so blessed?
In Kalispell, Sean Wells, MTN News.
Well, tonight in downtown Billings, a summer favorite officially returned. Yesterday it was the debut of Alive After 5. Tonight it was the Magic City Blues Fest taking center stage. Photographer Justin McKenzie takes us into the break with the sights and sounds of the annual tradition.
And it's just like a street party. We block off a couple blocks downtown, and you're just literally standing in the middle of one of the busiest streets in Billings, so it's pretty cool. Last year took its toll on everybody, especially the entertainment industry like music. Pretty cool to be back.